All right, YouTubers, we got a Toro time cutter SS4235. Belongs to a small private school. I took the wheels off it. I'm going to attempt to take the trannies out and drain them and refill them, get it to track right. TractorData.com says this has a Kawasaki engine on it, but there's a Kohler engine on it. So we're going to go from there, and I'll probably tune it up, change the blades, check the spindles, and all that sort of stuff. A friend of mine gave me this lift for lawnmowers. Comes in handy every now and then. We'll see how things progress. Thank you, and stay tuned. All right, I removed that spring over there from the tensioner on the belt. Took off the spindle covers, and there's a whole bunch of packed in dirt right in there. Same on the other side. Little 5/16 nuts, bolts that are holding these in right here. 3 on each side. I'll get that cleaned up and we'll carry on. All right, preliminary discoveries. I took the belt off, both the spindles, and blades are pretty bad shape under here. Pieces of the wings. Pieces of the wings are missing. Broke off. Now if you listen to this, you can hear a little grinding noise. Now it's pretty firm. No, not loose, but if you listen to this one, you don't hear that grinding noise. So I'm probably going to change the blades. I may look at letting that other spindle on that side, just notifying someone that it's probably going to be going. Also, these two pulleys up under here. Let's see if I can get there. That one there. You don't hear anything when I spin it, and it doesn't spin very far. But if I get this other one back over here, that makes a noise. So that's more than likely going to be replacing. There is just a little bit of wobble with it. Okay, we're carrying on. All right, we're back on the Toro, and I downloaded and printed out the hydraulic drive belt removal and transaxle replacement from, it's on here. I don't know what the website was. I'll have to find out again, and I'll give you that information. But it's a step-by-step process on what to do and how to take off, how to drop these transmissions. And I'm gonna start on it here in a little bit. I gotta go get my granddaughter from school, and I'll get back with you. All right? All right. You gotta push these brake releases in on both sides. That one's already done. The belt's off the PTO for the blades. You're gonna have to drop the PTO here. And there's a wire behind there connects that PTO. Gotta be careful on it. We'll get started on dropping these trannies out of here. We'll follow the procedure on that list I gave you. All right, we're gonna start by taking this 5/8 bolt out of here, dropping the PTO, and we're gonna make sure disconnect this belt system up here. I'm gonna take this spring off right here. Let's see if I can get to that right quick here. Where is, there it is. And there's the electrical connector for the PTO. Gotta take it off. There we go. Get that off. Alright, now, somewhere on this shaft, there's a groove back here that has to fit into right there. You gotta take that into account. Okay, it's about time for me to go get my granddaughter, so I'll pick up again later. Alright, we're back on this Toro. I'm going to try and get this stud up, or nut off of here, and take this tensioner off and get the belt off there and look at it. The belt, it looks like it's got some cracks in it. We'll see how this goes. 1/2 inch socket. Alright, now you saw this fall out of there. I wasn't really sure how these washer arrangements were, but luckily I do have this printout, and it shows where each washer goes, how it's put back together. If you see this bearing here, I don't know if you can hear it, but it has a sound to it and it stops revolving pretty quickly. But if you listen to this one, no sound, and it keeps revolving smooth. So I'm probably going to go ahead and replace this on here and get this thing back together. Let me see if I can get that belt off there now. Alright, belt came off easy enough. Just got to lift it up over these fan blades. There's a pulley up on top of each transmission. Comes off pretty easy after once you get that tensioner off there. But if you look at this belt, you see cracks in it. You see those cracks in there. So I'm going to replace this belt. I think what I'm going to do today is order this belt and blades and that roller. We'll get back to it. Thanks. Alright, we're going to follow some of these instructions here on transaxle replacement. First thing is to disconnect the battery terminals. I already did that. Raise it. It's already been raised. Remove wheels. They're already gone. Alright, I'm going to move that that nut on figure 058 right there on the hydro system on the right side first, and then we'll move to pull this pin out of here and remove that rod as it's shown in the instructions. Alright, working on the right side. Remove this 1/2 inch nut as per instructions and go up under here and remove this clip and washer on this brake bypass. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. All right, I got that part. And it says remove that whole rod. So let's take that rod out. Keep this. Now we'll just let it right there. It's out of the way. Just let it hang right there. Yeah, let's take that out this way. Yeah. We'll just let it hang here. It's out of the way. Okay. We're going to do the same on the other side. Next step, remove the brake rod from the brake actuator module. Alright, this is up under here. Let's see about taking that apart, getting that off of there. Put this washer back, put the clip back so I don't lose it. Stand by, let me see if I can find where this goes. All right, we've removed the brake bypass rods. Here they are. We're going to remove them from the unit as per instructions, and then we're going to move on to this brake here, this nut here. According to the instructions, that's the next step. We're going to bypass this step because that's for a different model, an MX50 model, and roll down here to the SS model. We're going to take that nut off of there and remove that rod. All right, I have decided instead of taking this nut here off, oops, I would take this bolt out of here and take this whole assembly off. I don't know if that was a smart thing to do or not because it had thread lock on it. I'm going to do the same to the other side. I can always put new thread lock on it. There's what I'm talking about right there. Taking that out. It's a 3/8 head nut. I'm going to take that one out too. Alright, next step I already did was remove the spring here and remove that tensioner. This model does not have the reservoir for the fluid, hydraulic fluid. That's MX only. This is the wide body for the MX model, I'm sure. This is what we have right here. So the next step is remove the 4 mounting brackets. So that's where we're going now. To take this plate off of here. This plate here. So we're going to be taking these 2 bolts out, and on the other side those 2 bolts out. Alright, I removed that bottom plate. I put a little soapstone arrow on here so I know it goes that way in the orientation. Doesn't look like it matters which way you put it, but just for my own peace of mind, I put that soapstone on there. Next steps are to take off these 2 bolts here, which would be these 2. But if you go further down here, there's this bolt here. That says wide frame, narrow frame. Here you go, this is it, right here. This one here. And that's a little harder to get to. I don't know if you can see down in there. It's all the way down there. Maybe this side's a little easier. That bolt right there. So that's what I'm going to take off first, since it looks like it's the hardest. Also, I noticed this little vent is pointing up on the right side, and on the left side it's pointing down. I don't know who configured it like that, but I'm sure they're both supposed to be pointing down. I'll take care of that when I get them off. All right, for right now, I'm going to take this nut here off, this bolt here out on both sides. Here are those bolts from underneath. Right here's the head, back here's the nut. Same on this side, here's the head, back there's the nut. I'm not going to get my impact gun between there, so I'm going to have to do it by hand with the ratchet. I'll get back with you when it's finished. Alright, I got this floor jack up under here supporting this transmission. I got this bolt to take out, this bolt to take out, and then the top two up here. I don't want it to drop out on me, so we'll see how this goes. The other two bolts came out fairly easy. The one on the right side was a little harder to get to, right here, than the left side, but no real problem. All right, I repositioned this brace so that I have access to this nut here with my impact. I got this one out from here. I got the nut off here. Yeah, it's off. I just put it back under to try and bump this bolt. It's not moving. And I need access to this nut here. This bolt seems to be stuck in there. Could be rusted up. You see how this one is. This one came out fairly easy, but that one could be rusted up in there. So it may take a little time to work on that to get that out of there. We'll work on it. All right, finally got this right side out. Let's see, this bolt was in here, through here, was just rusted up in there. I had to beat it out of there and WD-40 it. You can see it. This bolt here's got a little rust on it. Some of these bolts are almost like new. This is a fairly clean machine. But after a little bit of labor, we got it out of there. We'll clean this up. There's a fill plug here, it needs to be cleaned up so I can fill it. I'll wash this all off. We'll work on the other side now. All right, folks, there you have it. 2 transmissions out of this Toro. Put the bolts back where they go so I don't forget where they belong. Probably going to have to replace a few. This one here is pretty rusty. This is the one I had trouble with getting out on that right side. I'm going to go ahead and wash these up, get them cleaned up, and I'll show you about changing the oil in them. Okay? Until next time. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and open that drain plug and flip this transmission over, and we'll see what comes out. Stand by here. It's pretty dark. Yeah, stand by. I got it set up where it's draining. See it dripping out down there. All right, we're gonna let that go probably overnight. Oh, there it is. First transmission. Pretty black, nasty looking stuff. The instructions I printed out said that it takes 2050 regular motor oil. 1.5 quarts, 1.6 quarts. So we're gonna put that back in there. And it doesn't look any better. Same black liquid. We'll go back with cleaning them up outside and then put new fluid inside. All right, this is what I pulled out of both transmissions. Kind of dirty looking. About 3 quarts. The spec sheet says it takes a little over 3 quarts for both transmissions, 1.6 quarts each. The spec sheet says to use 20 W50 motor oil for transmission. So I was going to call Toro. While I was looking on Toro's website, they said for mechanical issues, contact your local dealer. So I called the local dealer, and they said this is what they use: 15W50 Mobile 1 synthetic. I'm going to add about half a quart of this bottle, half this bottle here, to give it a little more lubricity. And I'll mix it in this jug. You won't have to see me do all that. and I'll pour it into the transmissions, and when we have it all together, I'll go through the purging process. There's the 3 quarts of Mobil 1 with what I got out of the transmission. So there's probably a little bit left in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up with that Lucas, and I may have a little left over because I'm probably going to overfill the transmissions so that when I do the purging, the level should drop to within acceptable limits. All right, I used just about all that fluid, and you can see where the level is in that one and that one. And sometimes I overfilled it a little bit with the funnel still in it, and I just kept the funnel in it, spun this in this direction to blow air down on the transmission, and then shifted this a couple times forward and backwards like this, like that, and that level dropped. So maybe my purging procedure will be easy when I get these installed. Till next time. Right, here we are, pretty much reverse order as far as taking these transmissions out, putting them in. I did tighten these bigger bolts on the bottom brace first to firm it up before I tighten the smaller bolts here. Let's see what else. So I took out these, I told you I took these out. See the blue thread lock on there? I got a tube of blue thread lock to put back in. I'm going to wire brush the threads on that and blow that out in here and put those back in. It's probably a better idea to just take these bolts off, these nuts off at the end of this shaft here. I just didn't want things dangling around when I had them out. I'm waiting on parts, the pulleys to come in and the belt, and we'll take it up when those things come back in. All right, back on this Toro SS 4235. These new pulleys came in for the drive belt. This is the new drive belt. And the reason I'm changing these pulleys is this one, if I can get this to stand still somewhere. Let's see. All right. If you spin it, it's making a noise and it doesn't spin very long. This one, if you spin it quiet, and it just keeps rolling, rolling, rolling. This one I normally wouldn't replace, but since I don't want to get it back under this thing, I'm just going to go ahead and replace both of them. This was only like $14, $15. And this is how I put it back together. And this was downloaded from Toro's website. I'll get back with you when I get together. All right, sorry I couldn't show you how I put all this stuff back together. But I got the belt on, pulleys, and PTO here. Hooked up the electrical connection, and what you have to do to watch for that groove in here is just put this up and turn this until you find the groove, and make sure you line it up with this, and it'll pop up in there. Once you got it popped up in there, put your screw in and tighten it up. Now I'm going to show you how it turns. Let me put this down here. Hopefully you can see everything. Belt's all turned without hitting anything, interfering with any fan blades or anything. So it's all good. Now I'm just going to tighten this up a little bit with the impact on here. Getting ready to change the oil from the Toro, the 20 horsepower Kohler engine. This is a Fram filter. See how much taller it is than this rotary filter. Fits this twin cylinder Kohler 20 horsepower engine. And I cross-referenced it's a Fram PH 7575. And that should be better filtering capacity.